afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining this first edition of our podcast, Tax Talks with Charles Njoya. This is the first edition, and I'm excited because you'll be having this every week. You'll be having an edition, and this edition is meant to tell you about your tax situation. It's going to help you understand what is strategy. It's going to help you understand the American dream. It's going to help you understand how this country works. It's going to help you get into the top 1%. And one of the things I do will be getting some of the best people in this profession to come and tell us what they do, what they have done for the top 1%, what are they helping our communities to get into that place where you say you're living your American dream. You're moving away from what we call the rat race and getting into that wealth race where you continue building wealth. That is our show. That is what we're talking about on a weekly basis. And I tell you, if you are not here today, we're going to share this. And if you're listening to this, you want to share it to the general public so people can understand what we do, what they can do themselves to get out of the rat race. Today, I'm so excited because I'm inviting one of the creme de la creme in this business. I'm bringing in somebody. And I'm proud. I tell you all the time that CHN Advisors is about giving you value. And I'm proud to say I work with this guy. We work together within our company. And what we do is provide the best of quality to people. We provide them with out of common strategies. We know about common strategies that are out there in the market. But what are the real strategies are not in the market. And even for those strategies that you see in the market all the time on posts on Facebook, on Instagrams, the devil is in the detail. So today I'm bringing somebody who is incredible, who is somebody who has been recognized in this market. He's been doing this for the last 30 years. He is, I don't want to talk too much about the guy, but this is somebody who happens to work with us in the same team, and I'm just excited because we bring the best people to the market. Today I'm bringing Amit Chandel. He's a CPA, he's a certified tax strategist, and he's been awarded he's had all sorts of awards in this business. So Amit, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. And thank you for making it to this podcast today. It's an incredible edition.
It's my pleasure. It's definitely
Thank you. So today we're going to be talking about strategy. We're going to be talking about ourselves. But before we get into the strategy talk, what people want to hear, people want to know what they can do. We just got out of the tax season. The tax season just ended for some. Many have extended. Some have already filed. There's a lot of things that could be done with those who've already filed. But our game is about helping people get out of this rat race. But before I get into that, who is Amit? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a certified tax strategist. I've got a lot of credentials behind my name. I've been in the profession for a lot of years. And like you said, I've been awarded, I was a 2017 Tax Planner of the Year, and I have been on the Forbes list for top 100 CPA for 6 years in a row. I'm published. My books are on Amazon. One of my books beat Tony Robbins, believe it or not. I'm a CPA, right, a profession, which is required. After being a CPA, on the day my book and his book came. So I've been there, I've been around the block, I know what we are talking about, and tax planning is the game. Going to your doctor for your physicals before the problem happens. I say paying taxes is akin to amputation, and you don't want to amputate your arm. If you amputate, it's not coming back. What you pay to IRS, it's not coming back, it's gone. The only thing that I think everybody should indulge in is tax planning, which is just like you need to do tax planning, and like many judges in our past, Chief Justice Rehnquist and Judge Learned Hand and others have said, evasion is a crime, avoidance is not. And that's what the top 1% use. Avoid taxes by using the tax laws. And the mass taxpayers, when it comes to tax laws, they throw their hands up in the air and say, I give up. But otherwise we say ignorance of the law is no excuse. But everybody tends to ignore when it comes to taxes. So they really need to think about planning taxes, tax plan, save taxes concurrently, so that you can save the money today, not given an interest-free loan to the government, and they don't want it. And it's your third bill of rights for IRS, fair amount of tax. So why are we not paying the fair amount of tax? Because that's my biggest question and biggest pet peeve with most of the taxpayers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a no-brainer. What we're talking about is a no-brainer. I mean, this country is based on a lot of things, and we'll talk about that. But Amit, what brought you into this profession? What's that thing that made you to want to help people out there, to help people to know to get to their American dream?
Well, as a CPA, I was a traditional CPA doing the traditional debits, credits, ins and out, for plugging in into tax programs. But that satisfaction was never there that I was helping. I always wanted to help people do things, be it anything. But getting into tax planning, after I was exposed to tax planning the first time at a webinar, I said, this is it. This was my missing link. This is where I need to, and I'm in my profession. At the same time, I'm helping people, helping to grow, putting net worth in their value. We all business owners and everybody, W2 employees or everybody, we all struggle to make the ends meet. And when the government comes in and takes 52% of your money away just because you did not pay attention to what you were doing, it hurts me. I don't know if it hurts them or not, but it hurts me. I want to put most of the money that is legally available by the tax codes, and we don't have to Mickey Mouse anything. A lot of people I've run into in business in my career over 30 years where people Mickey Mouse, and I hate those Mickey Mouse. Why don't we legally use the codes that the IRS has provided, the codes written by Congress? We need to use those. And they are, like you say often, Charles, our tax code is incentives, is based on incentives. That's exactly what it is. And we are a capitalist nation. US is a capitalist nation. The government doesn't want you to be a state burden. And what they want you to do is help yourselves do what is needed. I don't care which side of the aisle you are on. Everybody uses tax planning to their benefit when you're up there. I don't care if it's President Trump or it's President Biden. I bet you they all use this tax planning. Yes, we do mudslinging on both sides, which is fine, which is expected. That's politics. But we need to do tax planning to help yourself. When we hear a recession, what is the first thing the government says? We need money in the economy. So how are you going to put money in the economy? That's why they create these incentive tax laws, so you can put the money in the economy. Or like David Perez says, build your own economy. Why don't we build our own economy? We need to do that. And we need to build this economy to get it growing, get it going forward for your sake, for the country's sake. And if you're patriotic, I would say if you're patriotic, you need to build your country's economy, not pour the money down the drain and become a socialist.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something, and this is very important. I mean, let me tell you myself, how did I get into this profession? I used to work for PwC, and we helped some of these large companies do some of these things that we're talking about today. And you basically see that the people that are being helped by these large corporations, all these top guys, all these large companies that we used to help, we were all mitigating their taxes, and they get to those places where they're paying nothing. So we think about it. Now, all these things that these people are doing, we too can do the same. And it seems as if in this market, and this you will talk about it, in this market, some people have just been brainwashed to think that you have to pay, must pay taxes. They think that you are a better citizen because you are paying taxes. This is a fallacy, and I see this all the time. You are a better citizen because you're doing what the government wants you to do. And the things that the government wants you to do are the things that are going to make you wealthy and avoid you being a burden to the government. And whenever you get wealthy, the government gets wealthier. And that is the game. Won't you agree?
I totally concur with you, Charles, because that's exactly what it is. When we hear about Social Security or 401k, Social Security was only created for so much to help people. 401ks were created because people were not helping themselves to put money away. But that's not enough for you. You cannot retire on this inflationary market.
$34,000 a year. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. For Social Security, $33,000 a year, $34,000. Who can live on $34,000 a year?
It's not. You $33,000. You're below the poverty line. You can't even afford anything on that. But this is why, even if I may go on the other side of the aisle, on the red side, and they say, "Hey, you need to build your own retirement," they are right. You need to build your own retirement. Your retirement money, your exit from your regular day-to-day job, every one of us is going to exit our business, be it a business owner or be it a W-2 employee. We are going to exit our life to get into retirement. But who's going to live out their life at the end? Only if you build your own retirement. Like you said, $33,000 is not going to get us anywhere. Your sale of, you may say, okay, I'll sell my home or my whatever business. Is that enough? I normally take the example, you're on one side of the Grand Canyon and you need to bridge that gap from other side to the Grand Canyon. How are you going to plan to bridge that gap? Your sale of your business, your social security, your 401ks are not enough. You need to save taxes from going to the government, which they don't really want. They want you to pay the fair amount of tax and use that money to invest in other enterprises and help yourself and the nation at the same time. That's how the nation becomes wealthy, because you're putting the money back in the economy and helping the country. That is an incentive for you to build yourself to carry your weight. We need to carry our own weight. Again, go back, build your own economy. This is your economy. You build it. Don't ask. I'll back on to President Kennedy. What do you do to help yourself? What have you done for yourself? It's not what the country does for you, but what do you do for the country? This is what we do.
I mean, you talk a lot, you touch a lot of things there. I mean, and this is exciting. It's getting really exciting. And I want us to stay on my agenda so that we can really, because we're talking about a lot of things. Let me tell you something. Most of the people, I mean, and I get this all the time, people don't understand the difference between what we have as tax loopholes, tax evasion, and tax avoidance. So tell me, what is that difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance? You tell them. Let's understand what it is.
Tax evasion is not telling the government what monies you made and paying proper taxes on it. Tax evasion is when you're Mickey Mousing your numbers to not be fraudulently hiding taxes. And tax loopholes or tax avoidance is only using the loopholes that the government has created to create incentives for you to save taxes, to pay lower taxes. That's the tax loopholes. They are not shelters. They are not shelters. They are loopholes that have been blessed by the IRS and tested in the courts. That's the loopholes. And that's what the rich use.
Once you call that, those are the incentives that are given to you for doing certain things right. Correct? For being a true capitalist in this capitalist economy. You get those loopholes, you get those tax, what you call incentives, in order to make you do more of what you're doing. And then, yes, and then the tax evasion is that guy who's basically doing the wrong things, who is trying to evade taxes, and that becomes a crime. So that's, am I right in saying that?
Absolutely.
Because the reason I brought this is because we have a lot of questions around people trying to know in our game, what is this evasion, or this is avoidance, and it's important that you had to clear that up. Tell me this, Amit, and I'm glad to have you here, because in this profession you are somebody who has seen it, you've done it, you've done so many years doing this, and I'm glad that we're working on the same thing. How do the affluent individuals and corporations leverage the tax loopholes to reduce their tax burden? How do they do this? I know this is what you talk about, you do on a daily basis. How do you think people who are listening to you today, what do you think they should be doing going forward to leverage and take advantage of these loopholes? What is that guy who's just looking at you? What is the one thing you would tell him?
One of the things that they need to do is find a tax plan. A person who does tax planning. There are CPAs. Yes, there are good tax accountants. Very good ones. Bet you they're probably very, very good ones. But they are not planners. They don't plan anything. They don't do anything. They just live in the silos of that, and they're so busy doing tax returns. But there are over so many thousands of pages of code out there. What is it? 27,000 pages of tax codes. They don't have the time to read that. They don't have time to apply those. They don't do any one of those. They need to come to a tax planner. This just like they would like to go to the doctor or a general practitioner and even the medical field. You get your physicals done so that you don't have to go to the extreme. You don't can watch out for your heart attack coming before it happens. This is what it is. Help yourself by lowering your taxes through tax plan too, and you're the beneficiary of it. At the same time, the country benefits. You benefit, the country benefits. And that's
Absolutely.
as long as you're not a state burden, that's what the country wants. You need to be on your own. And that's planning is the key to everything. You plan your food,
Absolutely.
you go to a restaurant, you plan your menu, don't you?
You know, Amit, just to talk about that as well, you know that Forbes magazine basically says that 83% of high income earners, these are most of the people who are in the middle class and the higher middle class. These people, the reason people are stuck in the rat race is because about 83% of Americans who are making over $200,000 don't even have a tax plan. What does that mean? They don't understand the power of structuring their
Very correct.
estates. They don't. And if you don't structure in America, structure is everything, right?
Very true. People just trade, they go into business without thinking or analyzing. CPAs out there or attorneys, they just come in and say, "Oh, I want to be an S Corp. I want to be an LLC." They don't
Yes.
structure, just do it as a fad. This is what's going on. But does that structure meet your requirement? That's where the planning
Absolutely.
comes in. We start with the structure. We start with if you don't build a house and the architect does not put the foundation down, you are not going to you're building a house on a sand. We need to build a house on solid foundation. So do you need to build your plans on a solid foundation.
So, Amit, let me ask you this. And this is just, I want to give away. We want to make some giveaways out here. So, one giveaway, what is for these guys who are standing out there, who are out there who've not yet done their taxes? If you had a giveaway, one of those loopholes that you think, that guy who is probably a physician who made $1 million this year and he's not yet filed his taxes, or maybe he's filed his taxes and he's looking at how do I really, what do I need to, what is that one thing that I can do today and reduce some of my taxes? What would be that one giveaway? I don't want you to say look for strategies. I want you to just give one thing away that this audience can take away and say, oh, this is what I got from Amit.
Like to give away is tell them, look at your first, like you said, the structure. You do need to look at your structure of your entity. Is this the appropriate entity for you? Is there some way I can shift income from one side to another side? And one of the things that biggest item that I see is depreciation on your books. Your
Yes.
depreciation, every year the depreciation depletes, it goes down. But what happens, the other side of it's that your income is increasing and you're going to pay taxes on higher income. Is there a way I can deplete this? Don't just go buying a car, the 6,000 gross weight, you heard it somewhere, it's a depreciation. But if it does not meet the business purpose, it's not good. I know about a doctor who went out and bought a Rolls Royce, but how do I qualify it for business purpose? A Rolls Royce. I cannot. And that is totally ridiculous way of thinking that hey, I can get a 6,000 gross. And most CPA out there, which are generally tax accountants, will just because it is the law, but you got to go. That's where the IRS comes in, and that's where the audits come in. You need to avoid audits by planning, not by juggling numbers around. You're not creating things around it. Don't scramble with tax accountants at the end. When you're talking to a planner, you're preparing yourself for an audit. An audit coming to a tax return prepared by a planner is subject to lesser time and less money out of your pocket to pay for defense. A tax planner builds it by the code, lives by the code. We sleep by the code. Our Bible is the code.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you touched that thing about depreciation. And you talked about something you didn't, but most of my clients who came here this year, I guess most of the clients who came to us this year, many of these people, they come here and they have they have their financial statements which have been prepared. They can't access capital. You see somebody who made $500,000 and now he's struggling to even buy a property for $1 million because last year he did something and he's gotten to a point where those financial statements, those his tax returns are incapable for him to buy a property for $1 million. And that's where that concept of a bidder, which is considered up there, comes in. And I say this because you talked about depreciation. And that's something I just want you to talk about a little bit about. I see that all the time.
That's what a lot of accountants do is when it comes to end of the year, they see a big dollar amount on your P&L, your profit and loss is big, net income. So they have a one easy solution for everything. Oh, shift incomes, shift expenses, or go buy some capital equipment. I may not need it for 6 months in a row, but what I've done is I've locked up my working capital away, but I don't need it. And we all know once a product is sold, a car, equipment, or whatever, the moment it leaves the showroom, it depreciates
It loses its value. Yes.
value. And moment it loses, you can never regain or salvage that value. If you
Yes.
don't plan it, you cannot plan your exit. You cannot plan your lifestyle. You cannot plan anything. If you don't plan your proper exits out of a business, the goal should be for every business owner, every person is how do I plan to exit my life? Or what I do plan to do. Yes, you may want to leave things to charity, but hey, even that you can only leave that if you have a plan. So it's your exit. That's where you start. Once you have a goal, we can build towards that goal. And no two tax plans are alike. You could be in the same identical profession, but no two tax plans are alike because your goal is different from your colleague. So you cannot do those things. You have to do it the right way. Plan, 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 document, and talk to your tax planner all the time. I'm not saying it because I'm a tax planner, come to me. Go to any tax planner, but go to a planner who will help you to grow, not just pay taxes.
Absolutely. 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 I mean, if you're out there, and I say this all the time, if you're out there and you're making money, and because of excess write-offs of expenses, just expenses, if you're out there, you cannot access capital even if though you make money because your taxes have been messed up by maybe another CPA or something like that, or maybe just a tax preparer. It's so important that you talk to somebody who understands, and that is why we work as a team. We work in order to help you acquire assets. We work in order to help you invest money using other people's money. Because most people, they don't work with that vision in mind. They don't really see what you want to do. All they are looking at is what are the expenses I can write off. There are times you don't need expenses. You can do strategy without necessarily putting expenses in place. And
Very
there are
true.
strategies that have nothing to do with expenses. They will allow you to access capital. And that's very important.
Very true. And that is also goes also with the fact that most CPAs will not talk to your financial planner. Most
Yes.
CPAs will not talk to your financial planner. They work in silos, they work in isolation, they keep the things away. So what we need to do is work together, and as a team, that's what we do. We look at your financial planning aspect as well as your other aspects.
Yeah. So basically, one other thing I wanted to ask you, Amit. We've talked a lot about loopholes. We've talked about a lot about structure. We've talked about helping, making people financial statements, tax return look good. Tell me, I mean, there is something about this tax return. I don't think people understand the power of a tax return. People just don't understand. I mean, 90% of the people we work with, not 90, maybe 50%, they always think that you prepare your taxes because you want to pay taxes. You prepare your tax returns because you want to pay taxes. Well, you and I both know that the foundation of your estate from a tax standpoint and from a wealth building standpoint is that thing called your personal income tax return. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, your personal income tax returns basically is a mirror of what you did, what you're
Yes.
accomplishing. It's also a mirror of growing your wealth. If you're not reflecting, your numbers are not going up, you're not doing things, and you're not legally avoiding taxes, that's money down the tube. You're not going to get access to that money.
Absolutely.
A dollar in your pocket, they say it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. You need to
Absolutely.
keep the maximum amount with you. And the government incentivizes. They have created tax laws for this purpose. And we need to use them for your advantage, not for everybody else's. I'll take a simple example of Social Security. When you don't plan things right, you pay into the Social Security pool, which we all know we're only going to get so much out of it. The rest of it you're
Absolutely.
giving away. And then we complain, oh, the Social Security bucket may not be around when we retire. Yeah, it's not going to be there. It wasn't meant to be there in the long run. You're supposed to take care of your own life. Goes back to again, we are a capitalist society. We are supposed to take control of ourselves. Many of us are immigrants from other countries. We left other countries to come here to build a life, not to get into the rat race of paying taxes. We pay taxes there too. But we needed to do things better, get ahead, and the only way you can get ahead is save taxes, build your other assets, build your portfolios, build everything. That's what the rich do, the top 3%. We complain about, hey, the rich are not paying taxes. The rich are paying taxes. Actually, they are paying the highest amount of taxes, but they are using strategies that are built into the tax code to save themselves the taxes to do something else, and they pay taxes on the excise and everything else they do. They buy more equipment, they're paying taxes. We don't, as a regular taxpayer, you're not spending that much money. You're not doing it. But they are putting it in, turning the money around so that everybody that's a W2 employee is having a job. If they don't spend
Absolutely.
money, you will not have jobs. There'll be no economy. We'll be like a socialist country, a communist country. Why not just have the hammer and sickle flying on top of the White House if you want that? We have a different economy in our place. We need to build our own economy to grow ourselves.
That's amazing. I mean, what you're saying there is everything. Yesterday or 3 days ago, towards the end of the last tax season, I was looking at Mark Cuban, one of the billionaires we all know in America. Mark Cuban posted on X that I am paying 200 and I'm just writing a check for $275 million to the IRS. So he's writing a check of 235 million. The question is, the thing about millionaires, not billionaires, not paying taxes, most people don't understand this. Billionaires, they pay employee taxes. They pay all sorts of different taxes. These are taxes that are collected from the middle class. Basically, their own income, personal income taxes, are all leveraged. They are all taken
Plus,
care of and avoided by their family offices
plus,
like you
Charles,
now.
plus to that, they're adding their own share of the taxes to match.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So basically, the wealthy are paying taxes that are all combined from the middle class. These guys have millions of people working for them, hundreds, thousands of people working for them. When they tell you that they are paying their quarterly employee taxes, they pay millions of dollars. And that is all money that is coming from elsewhere. Those are all deductible expenses for them. But when it comes to their own gain, their own income, their own personal income, they have already used strategies to avoid that altogether. We don't say that millionaires don't pay taxes at all. We're saying that in terms of personal income taxes, their 1040s show that they pay zero, but they have other taxes that they're paying. They have other taxes, and all these taxes are paid by who? They are contributed by you, the middle class, by all of us. And that is where the game is. What does that mean? That simply means that America makes more money from you doing those things that those guys are doing. Because while he's writing a check of $275 million, none of which almost nothing is coming from his own money, he is helping grow the economy even more. So basically, like you and I say all the time, this economy, which is a capitalist economy, the government owns nothing. They don't own anything. You and I play the game. They want us to build real estate, to build bridges. They want to build roads. They want to employ people. They want to have real estate. They want to have commercial property. They want to give this, what do you call them, cheap rental to affordable housing to the middle class, to the low income earner. They don't do that. You and I have to play that game. Now, the smart people, the top 1% who are called the smart people, are the ones playing the game. What strategies like us do, we help people to understand how to become smart and play the game. That is our game, right? Would you agree?
I totally concur with you. That is the game, and exactly what we need to do. It's not your civic duty to pay taxes, but your civic duty is to play the role of saving taxes so you can get the economy going, just like you said.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, let's move further. How does, let me see, one thing I wanted to ask you, which is very important. I know you already gave a giveaway. So we have all these clients who come to us on a yearly basis. What is that one thing? What is that one thing? How do we basically try to build relationships with these our clients? What are those things that we can do to make sure that people out there, and this is important, people out there get out of, because this is a game of mindset. We're teaching people, we're helping people to change their mindsets. I had a client here who came to my office like 3 weeks ago. This guy, he's been paying over $400,000 to the IRS as personal income tax for the last 20 years. 20 years. And he never understood that there are things out there that he can do to avoid taxes. But he hears every day that the wealthy don't pay tax. And what most people tend to understand is that they don't pay taxes because they have businesses. I don't have a business, so I cannot avoid any taxes. Talk to us about that. What about all these our top earning W-2 earners who are making $1 million, $500,000? What is that thing that you want to tell them that will change their mindset from thinking that the only reason the Trumps, the Buffetts, the Musks, the Mark Cubans, all these guys don't pay taxes, federal income and state taxes, is because they own businesses? What do you tell them?
Well, it's not because of the businesses. They are doing it using the strategies that are out there. They do not, they go and talk to people, Buffett's and all those people. They talk to their CPAs. They have a team of planners. I shouldn't say CPAs, accountants. They have a team of planners who are like us, who are constantly thinking and testing, looking at the laws, looking at the codes that have been written in there. I'm not going to say I know all the code myself because it's such a vast. And the other thing is that tax laws are very volatile and they keep on changing constantly. To stay on top of tax laws, I was a CPA that did tax prep and audits and reviews. I purposely went away from audits and reviews because I cannot stay up on both sides of the fence. Most CPAs try to do everything and they cannot be masters of all. We all know the thing. You can be only a master of one or two items, but not everything. So you and I, we consciously took and decided that we're going to do tax planning. We get into tax planning. So the tax prep is basically a commodity. I normally say, hey, you can go to Kroger's, buy milk, or go to HEB and buy a gallon of milk. It's only the type. That's the difference between a regular CPA and a regular that's on the street. But a planner, yes, you have to pay more for planning. I give that. But it's the monies that you're paying is not paying. These are not your fees. You are paying from the investment that you're paying from the monies that you would have thrown away in the Uncle Sam's coffers. That's what you pay for. It's an investment. So you need to talk to your CPA, your planner, tax planner, so that we can help put the money back in your economy, back into your pocket so that you can do things better. It's not your civic duty. Like I've said, it's not your civic duty to pay taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And in addition to that, just to add to that, we have a lot of clients who are exclusively W-2, they're making money, and we can save them a lot in taxes, don't we?
Oh yeah, we can. If they want to come to us and help, let us look at their analyze, talk to us, give us your last tax returns file, give us talk about your goals, objectives, and what you want to do. Because you have other goals and objectives, we have to take it in a holistic approach to everything. We can't take a narrow approach. That a planner does not take a narrow approach, it takes the whole holistic report. What's your financial situation? What's your stocks and bond levels? What your retirement looks like? We got to look at everything. And we are much more well-rounded than most CPAs. We, as tax planners, we try to bring everything. That's where the things are. And that's what we have to do. And it's just like I said earlier, going to your doctor for physicals. You can protect yourself from a heart attack if you're doing your regular physical. Or you can end up with a massive heart attack and you may survive it or not survive it. But if you do your physicals with us, we are like your financial doctors. Come to us to do your physical. We meet with you often. You meet with your CPA, most of the people, once a year, maybe twice a year. And those CPAs don't come back and tell you, oh, Charles, there is a strategy I need to tell you that will save you taxes. They don't do that because they don't know. Whereas when we are looking at it, we're looking at your situation, we like to meet with you often And in our office, we generally meet with our clients, right? Correct me, Charles, is at least once a quarter.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
we want to know you much better, much closer, so that we know what we can do to save you taxes. And that's basically what it is. And people
Being
don't do that.
It's amazing. Guys, I'm happy you are all here to listen to this. And this is going to be a program that we have every week. We're going to be talking about your situation. We're going to be talking about each individual in this country. We're not going to be talking, this is all about you. This program is for you. We're not here to sell you, we're here to teach you. And we are going to make it in a way, and if you're out there and you have specific questions for strategies, for all these people, and I can't emphasize more, this is a game of a team. When you are working with strategies is a game that involves a team. It's not one man show. If you have one person who tells you he knows everything and is going to give you all the strategies that are in this world, know that it's an error. It just doesn't happen, right, Amit?
It's right. And like you said, it's not a cat and mouse game with Uncle Sam that I'm going to play this and who's going to build the cat. No, it's not that. It is the game of strategies. Talk to us, go to any tax planner. You find what I recommend is I tell, do not have to come to us. You can go to any tax planner. If you like us, definitely come to us. What they hear, we can help them. We all can help them. We have a team. Our team is comprised of financial planners, CPAs, and attorneys. We have all of that. So one stop for us. You come to us, we can handle all aspects. When you go to a regular CPA, they'll say, oh, go to your financial planner and get this thing done. Most CPAs don't hear about your tax gains or anything after the 1099Bs are issued at the end of the year. That's too late to do anything with it. They cannot harvest the losses or anything. We do it. We watch those things for you. We look at your financial situation, your life insurances, what is needed for you today, not after the fact. After December 31st, everything is over. Actually, last quarter, everything is over. Because as you get closer to the year, and there are deadlines and strategies that will expire. So it's better for you to come to us timely. The sooner you come, look after your health, look after your families, who you're working for. Your bosses, your family is your economy. You're working for them. Your boss at your job is not your boss. Your boss is your family. You need to take care of your boss.
And what about this guy who has probably paid $100,000 in taxes for last year, and he's been paying it for many years? Amit, do you think we can help them with
Oh,
anything
yes.
regarding
Oh,
historic
yes.
taxes?
We can definitely help them. All we need to look at their tax returns, their goals, and where they want to go and what it is. We just need to see which tax code will fit their mold. What is out there? There are 270,000 pages of tax codes. We need to fit, and I'm sure they fit in one of those codes. And we can definitely tailor it to them. All tax plans are tailor-made for each person. We do not have a boilerplate.
Yes. So you're saying that this guy who did his taxes in 2023, and he paid some crazy amounts of taxes. He's gone online, he's heard us speak, he's heard so many people say that he can do something about those taxes. You're saying that we can do something on the 2023 for that guy?
There are still some opportunities out there if they have filed an extension. If they have
Yes.
missed an opportunity that we see is that can be legally be done, we will go ahead and amend your taxes to bring that opportunity in. But the only thing is that what's available in 24 and moving forward is not available for 23. The number of strategies are reduced and minimized. But there are still strategies that may have not utilized, your CPA has not looked at. We can go and amend the tax. But the bottom line is we need the code on our side. As long as the code is, none of us look good in orange jumpsuits or the striped suits. We need to be, the horizontal striped suits. We don't like those. And we don't want you to be in those. So we will always use the tax code. We will not break the law. We are not going to sell you shelters, but we are going to do what is right for you. And there are things that can be done as long as you try to reach to us or other planners that you know or you trust. You call CPAs as trusted advisors. Yes, we are your trusted advisors, but only if you treat us and seek our help. If you don't seek our help, you're just anybody who likes to pay taxes. It's your money. You want to give it away? Why not donate to charity? Somebody who can really use. There are so many poor people out there on the street who can really use it. Why not give it to them? Even the non-profits would like to have you to donate so that you can help others. Why donate to an organization that doesn't want your money? IRS doesn't want your money. Your third bill of
Absolutely.
rights is fair amount of tax. Why are we donating money to an organization that doesn't? It's only an organization that makes you follow the law, incentivize you to follow the law to save money and grow your wealth and help others in your fellow citizens to grow their get other things done. All you have to do is follow the code.
I mean, we can talk about these things for the whole day.
Oh yes.
Unfortunately, we have time. We are limited. We have constraints of time, and guys, all of you who are out there, this is Tax Talks with Charles Njoya. We are here to tell you, to educate you on the things that you need to do to get into the top 1%, into the top 3% of Americans who pay zero in taxes, and they are building extraordinary wealth for their family while also protecting their assets. Some of the things we do that we just even didn't talk about it. Estate planning, we help you even with trust. The trust is the foundation. It's your legal foundation for your estate. You want to live, you want to have a living trust. We help you with that as well. And we will talk about these things. We'll talk about them as we go in different programs. You'll have Amit, myself, you'll have all sorts of strategists, all sorts of attorneys and people who are all in this game to help you win. It is so important that we come here, like Amit was saying, many of us, 90% of us in America are all foreigners. We came from somewhere and we came here to win. Some of us are third generation, some of our first generation. All of us have one thing: we want to win. The first thing about winning is understanding how the system works. It is so important that you understand how the system works, because if you understand how the system works, you will win the more. If you think that the educational system of America will help you win the system, you're mistaken. The system is in programs. The system is in learning from people who are structurers, people like us, people who have learned it, people who have done it. That is where you learn it. Our system here is to help you become part of the middle class, to help the top 1%. You don't want to be there. I mean, do you have any final word for our audience?
Final word is basically I would like to tell people that, hey, you don't have to think that I have to find a planner who's local to me. We help people nationwide. You can be all 50 states, Puerto Rico and Guam. We can help you. Because the tax laws are universal in the country. IRS
Yes.
creates laws applying to everybody, does not delineate it by locality. We can help you. You don't have to go say, hey, I'm in Houston, or in Los Angeles, so I need to find a planner there. But you find a planner, and we work, and Charles and I, we cover all 50 states of the country. We do everything for everybody, and we can help you regardless of where you are in the country. We can help you.
Guys, you can't get it better from the horse's mouth himself. I just want to thank you for making yourself available to be on this program. And I want to promise you one thing: you're not going to miss it. Every time you're on this program, you will learn something that's going to change your mind, because we are here to change minds. We are here to help you grow. We're here to help you meet your American dream in all legality. Thank you for today. I just want to thank you for coming on. And again, see you next week. And you have an excellent rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.